back at it, and I'm back with a vengeance. I took some L's last week, but this is week 3 of the Superstar Selections. Let's go. Game 1 on the slate. I got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers. Now, last week, both teams let me down, and as far as I'm concerned, both teams got upset. However, the Chargers went into Dallas, took an L by 1 point. The Chiefs let Lamar Jackson come in and do MVP-like things. This week, they face off against one another, and if I had to make a selection and put my chips on anyone, it gotta be Pat Mahomes and Jet McKinney. Game number 2 on the slate. I got the Miami Dolphins versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Derek Carr and the Raiders are going crazy right now, and it's mainly because of their revamped defense. They done got some vets around them. The pass rush is going crazy. They're flying around, making all the plays. Last week, Miami let me down when Tua got hurt, hoping for a speedy recovery, and they had to lean on Jacoby Brissett. Now, going forward, because I have to pick one team, I got to put my chips on the Raiders to get the W. Game number 3 on the slate is definitely the game of the week. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the LA Rams. Now, anybody that's been paying attention knows that I'm all about Matthew Stafford. However, in this matchup versus Touchdown Tommy, I got to put my chips on the Bucs. Game number 4, I got the Washington football team versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you paid attention last week, the Bills blanked the Dolphins. And with that being said, game number 5, I got the Cleveland Browns versus Chicago Bears. Now, this game I was really looking forward to. Justin Fields finally taking over and doing his thing. However, first game versus the Cleveland Browns, I think he'll make plays. I think he'll get a passing touchdown, possibly rushing touchdown. However, I think Baker and Jadeveon will get the W. Game number 6 on the slate, I got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. Now, last week, Lamar Jackson, front flip, somersault, whatever you want to call it, big time W versus the Chiefs. I think they keep the momentum going and they knock off the Detroit Lions. Game number 7, we got the Colts versus the Titans. Now, before the Carson Wentz injury, this would have been a totally different conversation. However, Jacob Eason gets in the game. He throws the ball right at Jalen Ramsey. That's just not a good decision. So, in this one, we're going to keep it smooth. We're going to keep it simple. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans, possibly Julio Jones, W. Game number 8 on the slate. Now, this is one of the games that I've been contemplating about over and over again. I've been looking at different scenarios, how this team can win, how that team can win. It's the New Orleans Saints versus the New England Patriots. Now, when it comes to the Patriots, we know that they're going to play defense and run the ball. However, when you look at the Saints, we don't know what we're going to get. First week, defense looks amazing. Second week, defense looks trash. First week, Jameis Winston started an MVP campaign. Second week, they don't get over 120 yards of offense. So, with all that being said, I think this game is going to come down to Jameis Winston's ability to make some plays and reduce or limit the turnovers, and Alvin Kamara has to have a big game. Also, I think the Saints can hold back Damian Harris in that rushing attack and force Mac Jones to have to beat them. If those two things play out the way that I think they'll play out, I think that Jameis Winston can go up to Foxborough and sneak a W. Game number 9. And it's finally time to rise up. I got the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Giants, a.k.a. the G-Men. Now, I got a little bread on this one, I'm not going to lie. I think this is finally the week that the Falcons are going to go get a W. I think that they can do an okay job of slowing Saquon down. I think they can contain Daniel Jones. And I think that Cordell Patterson is going to lead them to a W. Take the Falcons. Game number 10 on the slate, I got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, last week, I put a lot of chips on some upsets, and one of those upsets was for Cincy to go knock off Chicago. Joe Burrow, 3 interceptions late, it ruined those dreams. Now, Pittsburgh is banged up. TJ Watt is out. Big Ben is He's kind of over the place. And Deontay Johnson hurt his knee on a meaningless play to end the game last week. However, I still think this defense is going to be a little too much. So let me get the OG Big Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the W. Game number 11 on the slate. We got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Game number 12 on the slate, I got the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. And if you've been paying attention, Zach Wilson is struggling. Turnover machine, and I think it's just because he's going to need more time to develop. With that being said, give me the Denver Broncos defense to send another message to the NFL, and touchdown Teddy and Cortland Sutton are going to run it back and run it up. Game number 13 on the slate. I got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if you've been paying attention, Minnesota has been struggling, and I think these struggles will unfortunately continue. Seattle dropped the ball last week, ended up being on the wrong end of a big-time upset to the Tennessee Titans. Therefore, this week, I think Russ rights the ship, and Minnesota's ship continues to sink. Game number 14 on the slate. I got the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, everybody has something negative to say about Jimmy G. However, San Fran is getting it done. Defense is looking okay. Offense is doing just enough, and they're churning out W's. Green Bay, on the other hand, are a little up and down, kind of all over the place. However, you can never discredit the discount double check. But I got to make a selection, and therefore, I'm going to put my chips on that San Francisco 49ers defense to lead the team to a W. Game number 15 on the slate. And as they say, last but not least, I know y'all been waiting. And this is definitely the upset of the week. Give me Jalen Hurts to go back home with Jalen Reagor and beat Dallas in Jerry World. Upset of the week.